restore our moral standing in the world.
One of the things that I intend to do as president is to restore America's standing in the world. We are less respected now than we were 8 years ago or even 4 years ago.
For 8 years, we've seen our alliances weakened and our standing in the world set back.
All right, as a candidate, he promised to restore America's standing in the world, but as president, he's being embarrassed, he's being laughed at and ignored by some of our biggest rivals, and it's all thanks to the actions of a 30-year-old high school dropout turned NSA whistleblower. At this very hour, Edward Snowden remains on the run, and according to the Obama administration, he is believed to be in Russia. Now, yesterday, he abruptly fled Hong Kong on a jet bound for Moscow. Now, this after the U.S. failed to convince the Chinese government to arrest and extradite Snowden. Instead, the communist regime reportedly persuaded him to leave Hong Kong. But after nearly 5 years of, quote, leading from behind diplomatic defeats, shouldn't exactly come as a surprise to the Obama White House. Here with reaction, Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall, the author of Still the Best Hope, Why the World Needs American Values to Triumph, available now in paperback. Dennis Prager's back with us. Good to see you both.
Hi, Sean.
Good to see you, Sean.
Leslie, you know, a lot of people trying to determine here, is he a traitor or is he a hero? Personally, I'm glad that we know how much our government's spying on us. That question's irrelevant to me. How did a 29-year-old kid who was working for defense contractors without the highest security clearance, how did he have access to this? Isn't that the real question here?
Well, first of all, I think we need to separate the truth from the fiction. Remember, some of the documentation he provided to journalists was questionable, and that's why originally in Washington, American papers didn't want to run with it. And I don't think that, as somebody who's a talk show host now, but used to be a broadcast journalist, and I've done writing as a journalist, I don't think that the Guardian did its due diligence when it comes to Edward Snowden. I have friends that have high security clearance who will remain nameless in departments who work with the Pentagon, the federal government. One's a Democrat, one's a Republican, and both of them have said, to quote Vice President Joe Biden, this guy's full of malarkey when it comes to pushing buttons or being able to just listen in at will with his security clearance.
You know, Dennis, maybe that just sounds like a distraction to me, but the fact that he had access to these things, they want to extradite him, they want to indict him, they obviously know he has something here, don't you think?
They do think he has something there. I think Leslie is onto something. We don't know what truth the guy is telling, what access. I don't believe he could have at will listened into my emails or listened to my conversations or read my emails. I think he's exaggerating his importance. On the other hand, we don't know what's on his hard drives. I do worry about the question that you just posed about how he would have access to whatever he did. But I think your original point is the key one, and one that we need to look at with intellectual honesty. We are not more respected now that this is our president, President Obama. His belief is that if America is weaker, if it less imposes its will anywhere on earth, then the world will love us. He doesn't mean respected. He really means loved. The liberal wants to be loved. He is the quintessential man of the left. He wants America to be loved. We now don't have love and we don't have respect. In the past, we had respect. Now we have neither.
Yeah, doesn't that go to the heart of it, though, Leslie, that Putin has no trouble just sticking America's, just sticking his finger in America's face? They don't have the respect for the president. They didn't even go to the Interpol police agency to go through the proper procedures, as the Wall Street Journal pointed out today. Isn't that a big problem?
Honestly, Sean, I do believe it's a problem, but I think it would be, if Bush were president, anybody, Democrat or Republican, when you look at the ego of Putin and when you look at how he views the United States of America and how he views himself, this is a man who really gets off on and loves to be loved too, Dennis, in terms of power in politics. I don't think people get into politics to be loved. I think, quite frankly, politics and love are oxymoronic words being put together. But when we look at China, I think it's payback. I think it's payback for cyber hacking. I think, quite frankly, it was a middle finger to the United States, and I don't think it's because of the politics of Barack Obama. I think it's because they got caught.
I thought they hacked us, Dennis.
Yeah, they did, in fact. It's like when the Taliban say that they killed these mountaineers just now, 10 mountaineers from all over the world, from Ukraine, from China, and so on. It's payback for our having a drone attack. But we had a drone attack because of all the people that they have slaughtered. So you know, who did it first? Of course, they're the aggressors. They're a totalitarian state. In the history of the world, whenever there's been a conflict, whenever there's been a war, it has always been between a non-free country and a free country, or two non-free countries.
Right.
And why would we ever think the unfree China is the country that's in the right, and free America is the country that's in the wrong? But again, critical that those who say it would have happened under Bush as well, that may very well be true. But at least under Bush, we were feared.
Isn't it?
That's
a
the
good
point I want to make. It doesn't matter who leads America.
Last
we
question.
need to do what is right for the world and what is right for America, and a strong America is good for the world. Post-America, as just written up by a British member of Parliament, you want to see post-world America? Look at Syria.
Isn't it the world better with the world fearing America, as Dennis says, Leslie?
Well, first of all, Dennis, hang on, because I don't think this is over. You have to remember, Hong Kong has not, you know, strongly admitted. They're basically saying, well, he didn't have his passport going through customs, so we weren't, you know, helping. Russia is like, oh, you know, not admitting fully that he's here. They're trying to get information, obviously, from Mr. Snowden. And I don't think we've seen the end of what will happen with a man who wants to steal the former spotlight of Hugo Chavez in a country called Ecuador, especially when you have a treaty up for renewal in July, and he'll lose half of his foreign trade money that comes from the United States.
All right, guys, good to see you both. And Dennis, congratulations on your paper bag. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.